making a decision to not drink anymore? How did that?
I do have my wine, and I love my 7 daughters, but I do take breaks.
Ain't no way this is Taraji. What has happened to Taraji? That's impossible. There's no way that this is Taraji. What happened to her? She looks very, very different. And everybody around her is embracing her new look.
Have you ever wondered how an Academy Award-nominated actress, a Golden Globe winner, and one of the most recognizable faces in Hollywood could still find herself fighting for the respect, opportunities, and paycheck she believes she's earned? Imagine dedicating decades to perfecting your craft, delivering unforgettable performances, becoming the heart of blockbuster films and hit television shows, only to wake up one day wondering whether the industry you've given everything to has quietly moved on without you. That's the question surrounding Taraji P. Henson today. For years, audiences have admired her confidence, talent, and ability to bring every character to life. Whether she was making us laugh, cry, or cheer, Taraji became the kind of actress who could steal a scene with a single look. But behind the red carpets, glamorous premieres, and award shows, another story has been unfolding. One filled with frustration, difficult negotiations, and growing questions about what really happens behind Hollywood's closed doors. Recently, those conversations reached a whole new level after fellow entertainer Common spoke about the pressures surrounding Taraji's career. His comments sparked fresh debates online, with fans wondering whether her recent transformation and renewed public appearances are more than just a personal choice. Could this be the beginning of a major comeback? Or is it the result of years spent trying to overcome obstacles most people never knew existed? Today, we're taking a closer look at the journey that brought Taraji to this moment. We'll separate verified facts from internet speculation, revisit the milestones that made her one of Hollywood's most respected actresses, and explore why so many people believe her story reflects something much bigger than one celebrity's career. Because sometimes the brightest stars carry the heaviest burdens, and their biggest battles happen long after the cameras stop rolling. Long before headlines questioned her future, Taraji P. Henson had already built a career that most actors only dream about. Her rise wasn't fueled by luck or overnight fame. It was built on persistence, resilience, and an unwavering belief in her talent. From the beginning, Taraji proved she could command attention on screen. Early performances showcased an actress who wasn't afraid to take emotional risks, and directors quickly recognized her ability to make every role feel authentic. Whether she had 5 minutes of screen time or carried an entire film, audiences remembered her. That consistency eventually led to one breakthrough after another. When she appeared in Baby Boy, many believed it marked the start of a meteoric rise. Critics praised her performance, fans connected with her character, and industry insiders predicted that bigger opportunities would soon follow. For a while, it seemed like those predictions would become reality. More acclaimed performances arrived, bigger projects followed, her reputation continued to grow. Then came one of the defining moments of her career, The Curious Case of Benjamin Button. Sharing the screen with internationally celebrated stars, Taraji delivered a performance so compelling that she earned an Academy Award nomination. For most actors, a nomination of that magnitude changes everything. It often opens doors to leading roles, bigger contracts, and increased influence within the industry. Naturally, many expected Taraji's career to enter an entirely new chapter. But something unexpected happened. The flood of opportunities many assumed would arrive never fully materialized. Instead of effortlessly moving from one prestigious project to another, Taraji has explained that she often found herself fighting for every new role. Rather than studios competing to cast her, she says she still had to prove herself repeatedly despite an impressive resume that already spoke for itself. To many fans, that didn't make sense. How could someone with an Oscar nomination still struggle to secure the kinds of opportunities usually associated with that level of recognition? That question became even louder after another defining chapter in her career. When Empire premiered, television audiences instantly fell in love with Cookie Lyon. Cookie, wasn't just another television character. She became a cultural phenomenon. Confident, fearless, emotional, funny, and unforgettable, Cookie quickly evolved into one of television's most iconic characters. Week after week, viewers tuned in not only for the story, but to watch Taraji dominate every scene she appeared in. The role earned her widespread acclaim, major awards, and an entirely new generation of fans. Many industry observers believed this was finally the moment everything would change. An actress who had already proven herself on the big screen had now conquered television. Surely Hollywood would reward that success. Yet once again, reality seemed far more complicated. Although Taraji continued landing projects, she later revealed that the professional recognition she expected didn't always translate into the financial recognition she believed she deserved. In interviews over the years, she openly discussed the challenges of negotiating salaries. One particular story captured public attention more than any other. According to Taraji, during negotiations for The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, she hoped to receive around $500,000 for her role. Instead, she says the initial offer came in dramatically lower. Negotiations eventually increased the amount, but the experience left a lasting impression. Later, she explained that after taxes, management fees, commissions, and other professional expenses were deducted, the amount she ultimately kept was far less than many people assumed. For audiences who only see glamorous premieres and celebrity lifestyles, those comments came as a surprise. Most people assume that starring in a major Hollywood film automatically guarantees enormous wealth. Taraji's story challenged that assumption. It also raised broader questions. How are actors actually paid? Why do two performers appearing in the same film sometimes receive dramatically different compensation? And what factors determine who receives top billing, not just in credits, but financially? Those conversations extended far beyond one actress. They opened the door to larger discussions about experience, negotiation power, studio economics, and long-standing industry practices. Taraji wasn't simply talking about herself anymore. Many supporters felt she was giving voice to frustrations that countless performers had experienced, but rarely discussed publicly. As her honesty attracted more attention, another side of her personality became increasingly clear. She wasn't interested in quietly accepting circumstances she believed were unfair. She wanted change. That determination eventually influenced one of the biggest professional decisions of her career. After years of working within the same system, Taraji decided to make significant changes behind the scenes. She replaced members of her management team, explaining that she wanted stronger representation and a strategy that better reflected everything she had accomplished. For many celebrities, changing management is a routine business decision. But for Taraji, fans viewed it differently. It symbolized someone taking greater control over her future, rather than waiting for opportunities to arrive. She had spent years proving herself. Now she wanted a team capable of ensuring the industry recognized that value. It was a bold move, and it demonstrated something audiences have consistently admired about Taraji. She refuses to give up, even when doors don't open as quickly as expected, even when negotiations become exhausting, even when success doesn't automatically lead to security. She continues moving forward. Still, despite her determination, another challenge was beginning to emerge. One that had nothing to do with acting ability, and everything to do with perception. As Taraji's career continued, something unusual began happening. The conversation surrounding her slowly shifted away from her performances and toward the battles she was fighting behind the scenes. Instead of asking, "What's her next big role?" people started asking, "Why does someone this accomplished still have to fight so hard?" It wasn't because her talent had disappeared. Quite the opposite. Every time she stepped onto a screen, audiences were reminded why she'd become one of the industry's most respected actresses in the first place. Yet despite critical praise, Taraji repeatedly explained that each new project seemed to require another negotiation, another explanation of her worth, another uphill climb. During several interviews, she spoke candidly about how exhausting that cycle had become. She described reaching a point where excitement over landing a role had started to fade, because every opportunity came with another difficult battle. Imagine spending more than 2 decades building an extraordinary career, only to feel as though every accomplishment resets the moment you begin negotiating your next contract. For many fans, hearing those words was shocking. Success is often portrayed as a finish line. But Taraji suggested something very different. Sometimes success simply earns you the chance to fight all over again. That honesty resonated with people far beyond Hollywood. Workers in every profession understood what she meant. Many knew the frustration of delivering exceptional results while constantly feeling overlooked. Others recognized the emotional weight of repeatedly proving abilities that should already be obvious. Suddenly, Taraji wasn't only speaking about acting. She was describing an experience that millions could relate to. As those conversations gained momentum, another statement captured public attention. While promoting one of her films, Taraji passionately expressed what she believed every professional deserves. She made it clear that asking for fair compensation wasn't about greed. It was about respect. Those comments quickly spread across social media. Some praised her courage. Others questioned whether speaking so openly could negatively affect future opportunities. The debate intensified. Was Taraji simply standing up for herself? Or was Hollywood uncomfortable with someone refusing to remain silent? No one outside the industry's decision-making circles could answer that with certainty. But one thing became obvious. People were paying attention. Around this same period, discussions about representation and equality throughout the entertainment industry were becoming increasingly common. Actors, writers, directors, and producers were speaking more openly than ever before about long-standing challenges. Taraji's experiences became part of that larger conversation. Many supporters argued that her willingness to speak honestly helped shine a light on issues that had remained hidden for years. Others believed those problems extended far beyond one actress or one studio. They pointed to broader questions involving pay equity, opportunities, and professional recognition throughout Hollywood. Regardless of where people stood, very few questioned Taraji's dedication. Her work ethic had never been in doubt. Even while navigating difficult negotiations, she continued delivering memorable performances. That consistency made many wonder why recognition sometimes seemed disconnected from results. Then another chapter unfolded, one that reignited the entire discussion. In 2023, while promoting The Color Purple, Taraji participated in interviews that quickly became some of the most talked-about entertainment stories of the year. Rather than focusing only on the film itself, conversations shifted toward the realities she'd experienced throughout her career. She spoke emotionally about years of frustration. She explained that despite everything she'd accomplished, some of the same challenges continued to exist. Those interviews weren't filled with anger. They sounded more like exhaustion. The exhaustion of someone who had spent decades giving everything to her profession, while wondering why the finish line kept moving. One particular revelation surprised audiences. Taraji discussed difficulties involving basic working conditions on some productions. She explained that issues involving accommodations, dressing spaces, and other workplace necessities had contributed to feelings of being undervalued. For many viewers, those comments were unexpected. After all, people often assume major stars receive every possible comfort. Her perspective suggested reality can sometimes be far more complicated. The interviews quickly went viral. Clips spread across countless social media platforms. Entertainment commentators debated every statement. News outlets analyzed her words. Fans shared emotional reactions. Before long, the discussion had expanded far beyond one movie. Support soon arrived from several respected actresses who emphasized the importance of continuing conversations about fairness within the industry. Their support suggested these concerns weren't isolated experiences. Instead, many believed they reflected broader challenges affecting numerous performers. At the same time, critics raised a different concern. Some argued that discussing compensation so publicly during a film's promotional campaign might unintentionally distract from the project itself. Others believed she had every right to use her platform however she chose. Both viewpoints generated passionate debate. But there was one important distinction many responsible commentators continued emphasizing. While speculation about behind-the-scenes consequences spread rapidly online, claims that studios officially punished Taraji or blacklisted her were never confirmed. That distinction matters. Hollywood is filled with rumors. Separating verified facts from assumptions isn't always easy. Still, speculation continued growing. Some believed speaking so openly might have changed how certain executives viewed her. Others dismissed that idea entirely, arguing there was no evidence supporting such conclusions. Without direct confirmation, those questions remain exactly that. Questions. Yet public perception has a unique power. Even unverified stories can influence conversations. Repeated headlines often create narratives that become difficult to separate from reality. Common later suggested that this might be one of the biggest challenges Taraji now faces. According to his perspective, rebuilding momentum isn't only about finding another great role. It's also about changing the conversation surrounding your name. Once headlines become dominated by controversy instead of accomplishments, shifting public attention back toward your work becomes significantly harder. Whether people agree with that assessment or not, it highlights an important truth about modern celebrity culture. Today's entertainment industry moves at incredible speed. One viral interview can overshadow years of extraordinary achievements. One headline can become someone's entire public identity. That's why many supporters continue encouraging audiences to look beyond isolated moments and remember the complete body of work. Because Taraji's career wasn't built on controversy. It was built on unforgettable performances. From emotionally powerful dramas to sharp comedy, she consistently demonstrated remarkable versatility. Critics repeatedly praised her ability to disappear into complex characters. Directors valued her professionalism. Co-stars often described her commitment and preparation. Those accomplishments didn't disappear because public conversations changed. If anything, they became even more important reminders of what she had already contributed to the entertainment world. But perhaps the most revealing part of Taraji's story wasn't about awards, or salaries, or headlines. It was about resilience. Despite years of disappointment, she never stopped creating. She never disappeared. She continued showing up, continued working, continued believing another opportunity would come. And that determination may ultimately become the defining chapter of her career. Because sometimes the greatest comeback doesn't begin with applause. It begins quietly, with someone refusing to quit when the world assumes they're finished. And according to many people close to the industry, that next chapter may already be beginning. But here's where the story takes an unexpected turn. While countless people have focused on what Taraji P. Henson may have lost over the years, others believe they're asking the wrong question entirely. Maybe this isn't the end of an incredible career. Maybe it's the beginning of a completely different one. Hollywood has changed dramatically over the last decade. The days when actors depended almost entirely on major studios are fading. Streaming platforms, independent production companies, digital media, and creator-owned businesses have completely rewritten the rules. Today, many of the industry's biggest stars aren't just actors anymore. They're producers. They're studio founders. They're entrepreneurs. They're building opportunities instead of waiting for someone else to offer them one. And that's exactly why so many fans believe Taraji's next move could surprise everyone. Rather than chasing the same system that has frustrated her for years, she now has something far more valuable than she did 20 years ago. Experience, credibility, relationships, and perhaps most importantly, the respect of millions of fans. Throughout her career, Taraji has demonstrated something that can't be taught in acting classes: authenticity. Whether she's laughing during interviews, sharing painful moments from her personal journey, or portraying unforgettable characters on screen, people believe her. That emotional connection is incredibly rare. It's also something no salary negotiation can take away. That's why many industry observers believe her future doesn't necessarily depend on landing another blockbuster role. Instead, it may depend on creating projects that allow her voice to be heard exactly as she intends. In recent years, we've watched numerous established actors step behind the camera. Some have launched production companies. Others have partnered with streaming platforms. Some have created documentaries. Others have developed passion projects that traditional studios would never have approved. The common thread: creative control. Instead of waiting for permission, they're creating opportunities for themselves. Could Taraji follow a similar path? Only she knows the answer. But judging by her determination throughout the years, it certainly wouldn't surprise many people. Another important point often gets overlooked in conversations about her career. Success isn't always measured by constant headlines. Sometimes the most meaningful achievements happen quietly. Personal growth, peace of mind, creative freedom, time with family, health. After years of relentless pressure, Taraji has spoken openly about making changes in her personal life. She shared that she significantly reduced her alcohol consumption because she wanted greater mental clarity. She described taking time away to recharge emotionally and reflect on what truly mattered. Those choices reveal something deeper than career strategy. They suggest someone prioritizing long-term well-being over constant public attention. And perhaps that's one of the biggest lessons hidden inside this entire story. For years, audiences measured Taraji's success through awards, movie roles, ratings, and paychecks. But maybe she's begun measuring success differently. Maybe success now means choosing projects that inspire her instead of simply accepting every opportunity. Maybe success means protecting her peace. Maybe success means creating space for a healthier life after decades of non-stop work. Because eventually, every performer reaches a point where legacy becomes more important than popularity. And Taraji's legacy is already extraordinary. Think about everything she's accomplished: an Academy Award nomination, a Golden Globe, critically acclaimed performances across film and television, one of television's most iconic characters in Cookie Lion, millions of fans around the world, countless young actors who credit her as an inspiration. That's not failure. That's an extraordinary career. Of course, that doesn't erase the frustration she's expressed. Nor does it answer every question surrounding Hollywood's treatment of experienced actresses. Those discussions continue today. Many believe the entertainment industry still has significant progress to make regarding opportunity, compensation, and representation. Others argue the challenges reflect broader changes affecting nearly every actor as streaming, shifting audience habits, and tighter production budgets reshape the business. Reasonable people can disagree. But one thing is difficult to dispute. Taraji's willingness to speak honestly sparked conversations that extended far beyond herself. Whether people agreed with every statement she made or not, millions listened. And many found pieces of their own experiences reflected in hers. That kind of influence reaches far beyond any single movie. As for Common's comments, they've encouraged many people to reconsider the narrative surrounding Taraji. Instead of focusing only on recent headlines, his perspective invites audiences to look at the complete journey. The years of perseverance, the repeated obstacles, the extraordinary accomplishments, the resilience required to continue showing up despite disappointment. Because careers aren't defined by one difficult season. They're defined by how people respond when circumstances become challenging. Hollywood history is filled with remarkable comebacks. Actors once written off have returned with career-defining performances. Directors once overlooked have won Academy Awards. Projects nobody expected to succeed have become cultural phenomena. The entertainment industry has always been unpredictable. That's why declaring someone's career finished has often proven to be a mistake. One unforgettable performance, one groundbreaking series, one extraordinary film can change everything overnight. And if there's one thing Taraji P. Henson has consistently demonstrated throughout her career, it's that she knows how to leave an unforgettable impression. Whether her next chapter unfolds on the big screen, a streaming platform, behind the camera, or somewhere completely unexpected, millions of people will undoubtedly be watching. Because true talent doesn't disappear. It evolves. It adapts. And sometimes, it becomes even stronger after facing adversity. So perhaps the real question isn't whether Taraji P. Henson can make another comeback. Maybe the better question is, what will she do next that no one sees coming? Only time will answer that. Until then, one thing remains undeniable. Her journey has become about much more than Hollywood. It's become a story about perseverance, self-worth, speaking up when something feels wrong, and refusing to let setbacks define your future. No matter where you stand on the debates surrounding her career, it's impossible to ignore the impact she's had on the entertainment industry and the countless people inspired by her work. Sometimes success isn't about never facing obstacles. Sometimes it's about continuing to move forward despite them. And Taraji P. Henson has spent her entire career proving exactly that. Now we'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you believe Taraji's honesty about the challenges she has faced will ultimately strengthen her legacy? Or do you think Hollywood simply operates differently than many people expect? Share your opinion in the comments below. We always enjoy hearing different perspectives, and respectful conversations help everyone see the bigger picture. If you enjoyed this deep dive and want more thoughtful stories about the biggest names in entertainment, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss our next upload. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.